There was a time when the world bent to wind and prayer, when harvest depended on mercy, and mercy was fickle. That age did not end in chaos. It ended in brilliance. In the north, they dared what others feared. They bound flame to iron. They chained thunder beneath steel, and they gave industry a heartbeat. Foundries burned through winter nights. Cathedrals of rivet and smoke rose where forests once stood. Steam drove back famine. Steel promised certainty. It promised safety in a world long ruled by chance. And people believed, because belief is easier than hunger. For the first time in living memory, hunger retreated, borders held, and order endured. They called it progress. They called it destiny. And the engines of war began to turn. The South did not see destiny. They saw expansion. Smoke on the horizon where none had been before. Great houses gathered beneath their old banners. Treaties were forged in candlelight. Oaths sworn, not for conquest, but for survival. Where iron marched, they held the line. Where furnaces roared, they answered with storm. Neither side believed themselves wrong. The war did not ask who was righteous, nor did it ask for their intentions. It only asked who would endure. Endurance has a cost. The engines grew louder, hungrier. What began as tools became weapons. What began as weapons became doctrine. Mars suits strode across battlefields like walking fortresses. Steel limbs crushing earth into obedience. Shields bright with lightning and blades screaming with bound flame. Entire regiments vanish beneath collapsing ground, and cities burned in the name of necessity. Supply lines were stretched across continents, and the armies were fed not by fields, but by furnaces. Children learned the names of battle before they learned the names of birds. And the old gods grew quiet, or perhaps they were drowned out. But still, the engines were fed. Things were bound that should not have been bound. Names were spoken that should not have been spoken. Priests argued theology. Generals argued numbers, yet no one argued the cost loudly enough, not until it was too late. The land remembered. Forests blackened, rivers boiled, and the sky recoiled. They named it victory, but history named it something else. The scar. The war ended. Treaties were inked and borders redrawn. But the engines did not stop. They were refined, regulated, marketed. Skyrail stitched nations together. Mars suits stood silent in their hangars, and the factories fed cities that had never known hunger. Trade flourished, industry prospered, and nations rebuilt. New cities rose from ash and contract. Diplomats replaced generals. But progress demands fuel, and fuel demands sacrifice. And yet, the smoke never truly cleared. Faith falters as the great houses maneuver. Veterans of the Great War wait, polishing their rifles. Druids whisper of balance long broken, longing to extract their toll. Some call for reform, some call for control, and some even call for the flames of war once more. All the while, industry hums beneath it all, patient and relentless. Iron was only the beginning. The true engines were never made of steel. They were made of will, of belief, and of choice. And those engines are turning still.